Are your outdoor painted ceilings starting to show signs of deterioration and you're not sure what to do about it? Come along with me and I'll show you how to fix it quick and easy. Let's go. Hey guys, Musa here from Quantum Home Improvements and Solutions. Welcome back to the channel. So after more than 1 year, I'm now ready to do stage 2 of the al fresco area, which is repaint the ceilings. And so we moved into this house around about 8.5 years ago. And at the time of building and the later stage, we were running out of money. So to save costs, I paint the al fresco ceiling with the internal paint, which is just a flat Burgess gold. And so flat white is not the best paint to use externally, even though a lot of people do use it. And the biggest problem is that it's porous. And on the set joints of my ceilings, they started to mold because it's just very moist out this area. But also we have a problem with insects. And so we've got spiders, spider webs, insects all over the place, and you can't clean flat white paint. So I end up going to the guys in Inspiration Paint in Penrith, and they advised me that I need to repaint the ceiling, but this time with a Dulux weather shield. But first, I need to re-sand the ceiling, wash the ceiling down with sugar soap, wipe that down, and then I can repaint the ceiling. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But there is another issue. When I did the ceiling linings, I chose to use a fiber cement product, which is villaboard, which is great because it doesn't re-emulsify, which is really important to me externally, plus it's stronger than plasterboard. But the only problem is that it has a higher expansion and contraction rate, and so now there's cracks in my set joints, and now I need to fix that. And to fix that, I'm going to use Selleys No More Gaps. Okay, so now I'm going to get into it, but first I'll take the downlights out. So before you take a downlight out, make sure you turn your power off. There's been a lot of electricians who are professionals who have been complacent, not turned the power off and got electrocuted. So it's quite dangerous. Okay, so first you put your fingers either side of the downlight and you pull down. Now there are 2 springs here, and you've got to be careful because those springs are going to hurt if you don't do this properly. So here's one here. I'm going to let that go gently there, and there's one there. So they're just there and there. So be very, very careful, and then you just wiggle that through, be gentle. You can actually damage this componentry, and just very easy. Okay, so now we need to protect the downlights from the sugar soap and also from the paint. And so what I do is, quietly, I put my lights freezer bag over it. And there we go, now it's protected. That was quick and easy. Now I'll do the rest of them. So the next step now is to lightly sand down the ceilings and also the cornices. I'll do that before the sugar soap, so that way when I do the sugar soap, I can wash all the dust down. And so now I'm also going to set up a trestle, so 2 ladders and a plank. It's just going to be a lot easier for me working on the platform rather than going up and down the ladders. And please remember, when you are working on a ladder, be very careful. A lot of injuries are actually usually caused from short ladders, small ladders, but any type of ladders are dangerous, so just be very cautious when you're using a ladder. Okay, so we've given it a light sand everywhere. Now I'll go through with the sugar soap. Okay, so the brand sugar soap I'm going to be using is Selleys, which is the original sugar soap. And this is a highly concentrated bottle. So this 750 ml would make 30 litres of mix. So going by the instructions in the back, it says here that half a cup of this will make 5 litres of mix. So I've got 2.5 litres in this paint tray, so I'm going to put 1/4 of a cup into this. So make sure that you do stir it a bit. There we go. Just mix that in. So to wash the ceilings, I will be using this Sabco mop. I've bought it specifically to do this job. It's a lot easier. And so this mop has a smooth section and then also a rough section. So if something's not coming off too easily, I'll use that section there, and this here I'll just use for most of it. So then I will apply the sugar soap, and then I'll come back and wipe it off again. Now, so for the cornices, I'm going to be using these hand sponges. So the rough sponge just to get most of the rubbish off, and then the smooth sponge to wipe it clean. So this mop is retractable, so you can just squeeze that through like that. Very easy to use. This is fantastic. Look how easy all the dirt comes off. Okay, I'm done. This was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Just put a bit of stress on my back trying to reach up, but I found that this sponge actually was better to wipe it off with. So halfway through I started to wipe it with this, so I just got to go back and finish the other half with this sponge. Okay, so that's enough for today. Tomorrow morning I'll put on the No More Gaps and paint it. Whew, looking forward to that. Okay, it's a new day. I'm feeling a lot better. And I've got to tell you, I would not have been able to wash the ceiling with the sugar soap without this Soapco mop. It's really well built, very sturdy and easy to handle. One thing I did notice when I was pushing, you've got to push quite hard against the ceiling because the flat white ceiling paint just wants to grip. And this, you have to sort of hold close and push. But if you do that, you'll actually clean the ceiling really well. And this has turned out much better than I thought it would. So the next step now is to fill in the cracks between the expansions of the sheeting of the fibre cement. And I'm going to use Sally's No More Gaps. Now this one here is a high flexibility external No More Gap filler. And so I will apply that and then I'll just wipe it off with a damp cloth. So it says on the directions here that you can paint over this in half an hour. I'm going to give it a bit more than that. It does say on here that it takes 24 hours to become totally dry. Okay, so just hold that on a 45-degree angle. Just cork it slightly, don't put too much pressure on the handle. You don't want to put too much on here. It's just a waste, it's only a very small crack. So now I'll just get my paint scraper and just run that across. Just clean that up. And just give it a quick wipe just to take the residue off. Okay, so that's pretty easy and pretty quick. Okay, last one. Now I'll go around and put sticky tape around the walls. So this is the original and I believe the best on the market, made by 3M, Scotch tape. And so this is one of the best painter's tapes that I've seen. You can get stronger ones than this, made by 3M, but this is just the standard. I find it works quite well. Even though the next stage for this al fresco area is the floor tiling, I'm still going to put some drop sheets just on the parameter because when I'm painting the cornices with a brush, there's a really good chance there's going to be drips everywhere and it's going to look ugly until we actually tile. So I'll just keep it presentable. So it is good practice when putting drop sheets down to put them flat on the ground to not have any overlaps anywhere, just so there's no trip hazards. Okay, drop sheets are down, everything's done. We're ready for painting. The paint I'm going to be using today is the Dulux Weather Shield Multiflex. And so I've asked many painters and also the guys from Inspiration, and everyone said this is the best product to use externally. So it's a long life product, it's low sheen, easy to clean, and that's what we need here because the alfresco is exposed to the elements, the wasps, the flies, it gets pretty dirty. So when it does get dirty, we can just wash the ceiling down instead of having to repaint it again. So I'm going to be opening this paint tin with this paint tin remover. So if you use a screwdriver, you will damage the metal lid. If you use this, you can use it time and time again without damaging the lid. So basically just slowly turn that around. It's a great little tool and not very expensive. Okay, so I'll just mix that in. I'm only just going to put in about 1.5 to 2 litres in there for now. So what I'm going to do first is just paint the cornices, and I will use a cutting brush. These cornices are not standard. Okay, so I'm going to use a little container to hold the paint. Okay, I forgot to mention, the roller I'm going to be using is the Oldfields roller, and it's a 270mm long. I find the shorter ones are better for me. It doesn't put as much pressure on my back. So this is a 15mm nap, and you do have to wash these out before you use them, because you'll find that the fluff will actually go into the paint. And I also got another rolling frame, and Oldfields is a really good brand, and the other one was getting a little wobbly, so I just wanted to make my job a little easier today. There we go. Put that in. Put my stick in. Okay, so when painting, it's really important to note that when you apply the paint, you go back and you give it one last brush once you've applied it. So you apply it on, and you apply it liberally, it says on the container, or generously it says on the container. Okay, so once you apply it, and then just give it one straight run like that, just to take out any of the brush marks. Okay, so the cornice is done. That was pretty quick. So they do recommend that you put 2 coats. So you leave it for 2 hours to dry. So while that is drying, now I'll roll the paint on the ceiling. Okay, so being a new roller, it's just going to take a bit to soak in. Almost finished. I've only got 2 more passes of rolling to go, but I should have mentioned this earlier. When you are rolling, I'll just demonstrate here. You roll that on, just even the paint first. Now when you're finished, then roll back and go zigzag back to where you started. So in other words, where the lines are, go back over it to get rid of those roll lines. Because if you don't do that, it's just going to look a bit ugly when it's finished. But when you take in those lines back out, just do it very softly, just touch it. Just do very, very gently, and they'll come out. So all those roll lines will come out, and you won't have any marks left on the ceiling. So it'll all blend in together. Okay, first coat is complete. I'll give it 2 hours and come back and do it again. Okay, it's finished. I can't believe it. It was a bit of hard work for me, but anyway, the results are fantastic. A big improvement. I'm very happy with that. But there's only one problem. The fans are looking really ugly, so I'm going to have to give them a wash down. It's been probably about 3 or 4 years since that's happened. Okay, so now I can actually take the sticky tape off. That's it. Okay, it's all done. Now I'll just wash the roller and the brush. And if you haven't seen this before, I'm going to show you a good way of cleaning the roller. Most of you would have seen this, but I'm sure some haven't. Okay, so first you clean out your roller just with this tool here. You've got a round edge, and that just cleans out all the paint and thins it down. And what we're going to try to do is get it into this cleaner, into this device. So we need to get it off completely, so I'll just go around the other end So all we do now is just place this into the cleaner. It's going to be a little tight if you've got a thick nap. And this here is a 15 mil, so it's quite thick. All right, so that's all the way in. It was a bit hard to get in, but that's fine. So now you connect your hose into this hose fitting section. So put that in, and then I'll just uncrease the hose. And all you do is just turn your hose on. And you'll see it starts to drip out from this end. And so that's basically cleaning out your roller. So you can see here you're showing the color of the roller already. So it won't take long before that cleans out, how it's all starting to go back to its original color. And that eventually will just clean out totally. Okay, it's all done. A good habit to get into is actually cleaning your paint tray completely. That's almost there. There's some left from last time, so we've all been guilty of not cleaning our trays. But the problem is if you don't clean it next time when you do use it, the old paint will chip off and go into the new paint, and then you'll end up having that on the wall or the ceiling. So it is a really good idea. So now you'll see this. I'll just push it back down and out if I can. Yep, there we are. Just clean that off. And you'll see that the water will just push that through. Look at that. Just pushing that out, completely clean. Beautiful. Stage 2 of the al fresco area is now complete and it looks amazing. I'm very happy with it. And I'm looking forward now to doing stage 3, which is tiling the floors. A long-time school friend of mine, Louis, who's a professional tiler, is going to come and help me soon, hopefully in the next month or two. So even though it was very satisfying to paint this al fresco area, it was very taxing on my back, especially washing the ceilings with the sugar soap and the mop, and also rolling out. It just put a bit of stress on my back. And I'm sure my doctor's not going to be very happy with me. And it took a lot longer than it should have. So if you're not able to do this kind of work, I will put 2 numbers in the description below. One of a commercial painter by the name of Mario, who's a really good friend of mine, and another friend named Pierre, who's a residential painter. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the guys from Dulux, especially Ryan from Inspirations in Penrith. His advice was really good, and his instructions and everything worked out the way it needed to. And that's the problem when you go to a hardware store to buy paint, you're not going to always get the right information. So going to a specialty shop like Inspirations is going to help you do the job right. So I will put a link below for Dulux and Inspirations and all the products that I've used, just in case you're looking for them. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. And if you have any comments, please leave below and I will get back to you. And I'd ask if you please consider to subscribe, hit the like button and share this video, and there's many more to come. Thanks guys.